can remember being a boy, and we used to live in a house near some railway tracks, and our family name was Benson.
दुकान पे लिख रही है रेडियो वाला कोई भी कहानी बल पता पड़ेगा भैया ले गया अच्छा लिख के
I could just remember playing with the dog in the fields and on the railway tracks.
Two years old. Yeah, 2 years old she was when she started about this dog, Muff, a little Fisher-Price with a wiggly tail, playing out at the back one morning in the summer, and just kept saying, "Come along, Muff, come along." I said, "That's a funny name for a dog, isn't it, Nicola?" She said, "No, it's not a funny name, isn't that, Nana?" I said, "Why not?" She said, "Well, that's what they called my dog when I was here before." I said, "How do you mean when you were here before?" She said, "Oh, you don't remember, you weren't here then."
I remember having a dog, and we called it Muff. It was black and white, very friendly, and he used to play all the time.
I just thought she was weird. I just really thought at the beginning that she was just having an imaginary friend like, you know, kids do. But her story never, ever changed. And every time she told it to you, you got to know a little bit more. So, like, over the period of maybe a year, we got to know the final story.
I said, "Well, where did you live?" She said, "Oh, up there, a long way up there." I said, "Whereabouts?" She said, "Up by that railway station up there." I said, "Oh, did you?" She said, "Yes." She said, "I lived up there."
She just could remember this place in her mind that she kept talking about all the time, and I just said, "OK, you'll have to show me where it is," because I didn't have a clue where we were going. She kept saying it was over there, which is like over the other side of the valley. So we just walked and walked for ages, and we started walking up, you know, towards Haworth. We've got dog outside a minute, Nicola.
I can remember a little river, or on the train lines, we used to throw sticks or a ball.
It's down there.
Down where?
Down here.
It can't be down here, Nicola. It's nothing down here, it's just muck.
I knew it was somewhere around near my nana's, but I didn't know where. But I knew how to get to it.
It can't be down here.
It is.
How do you know? I was amazed when Nicola sort of led me down this muck road, because, I mean, I knew the area as a kid because I'd always played there. But Nicola had never, ever been there before.
I can hear it.
Can you hear it?
Yeah. Oh, look, there it is.
What did you used to do there?
I used to play in there with my dog and my friends. Come on, let's go down.
Where are you going?
Down to the river.
You can't get down there.
We went down to see if that were it, and then I started remembering.
Hurry up.
If I fall, Nicola, you're for it. Most people think she's Barmer, and, you know, call her weird and that, but because she's my daughter, I just wanted to find out for her peace of mind as well as mine.
It's all slushy and horrible. I used to play over there with my friends and Muff.
Where?
Over there, near that tunnel. That's where we used to play.
You played in the tunnel?
No, just out of it. Just there.
Come here. Hello.
Hello.
Sorry to bother you. I wonder if you could have a look at the old stone on the back of your house.
Yeah.
Why?
My nana believed me when I first started talking about it, but my mum didn't. My teachers didn't believe me, and I don't think any of my friends did, but I don't think they understood when, because we were only little.
And you told me to give up encouraging her, didn't you? She said that I were encouraging her, and I weren't, because she were quite willing to tell all this without any encouragement.
She just seemed to think that because she could remember a previous life, we should remember it as well.
And that's it, that's the fireplace.
That used to be a fireplace.
And I can remember a door being here.
What's that there? What's that a door?
When we were naughty, my mum used to put us down there.
That wasn't very nice, was it?
I don't know.
They'd concreted over this, like, trapdoor thing on the floor, but she could remember being put down there when she was naughty. Who did you go down with?
Nobody. If you were naughty on your own, you used to go down there on your own.
And then when we looked round, she sort of came to end and she went really, really quiet. I knew she was frightened about something, but she wasn't actually saying. And then when we came out of the garage, she said, you know, when I went in there, I said, yes. She said, well, I saw a rocking chair. And I said, you imagine, you know, was it in your mind? She said, no, it was actually there. I saw this vision, this rocking chair by the fire.
मेरे 3 बालक हैं और 3 बालिका हैं। मेरे पास 6 बच्चे हैं। टीटू सबसे छोटा बालक है मेरा। 2.5 साल की उम्र में ये बालक ये बताता था कि मेरी माँ का नाम राजकुमारी है, मेरी बहू का नाम उमा है, मेरे पापा जी का नाम चंदा भारती है। तो हम लोग इस पे शक करते थे। हम पूछते थे कि हम कौन हैं, तो ये बताता था कि हम तुम्हारे घर के नहीं हैं।
अब जी पूर्व जन्म की बात बता रहा हो, तो अब ये दुख तो हमारे भयो ना हो। हमें तो अच्छा लगे कि क्या कहते हैं, अब जी हमारे यहाँ आएगा अच्छे घर को, हमारी भी अच्छी परिवस्था हैगी, तो भी आनो जानो बनते रिश्ता बनेगा हमारा। जी बोले मम्मी, हम बोले जाते मन के बेटा तुम क्या कहते हैं हमारे यहाँ पैदा भई हो, जन्म लेके आई हो। फिर बोले मम्मी आपको धोखा दे के नहीं जाऊँगा मैं, मेरे यहाँ मैंने तुम्हारे यहाँ जन्म लो है, तो मेरे तो क्या कहते हैं तुम माँ बाप हो और भी माँ बाप हो।
साधारण तो है और बहुत ही साधारण है, बच्चों में खेलता है कूदता है, लेकिन कभी कभी ऐसा प्रतीत होता है कि ऐसे काम भी कर डालता है जो कि बड़े बड़े हम लोग इस उम्र पे भी नहीं कर सकते।
जी बोलो हम तो घर भी जाएंगे, तुम पे कितने किलोमीटर हम पे जा पाए। हम तो अगर हमारी दुकान है, अगर हमारे बच्चा है, हम तो कम थोड़ा तो आने आएगी नंगा तो अगर लाइन में मेरी दुकान है टीवी रेडियो की। फिर रोनू सोनू ने लल्लू को नाम है बच्चों को, उमा में बहू है।
तो खाने में टीवी रेडियो वीडियो सब चीज है।
इनकी दुकान है वो
मेरी मेरी भाई कोठी मेरी है। कपूरा भाई पैसे ले ले, कपूरा पैसे छुड़ांगो राजी बा कोठी है सारा कपूरा भाई है। पापा लेके जाओ।
Never even thought that she lived before me. You didn't think about it then, did you?
Well, you don't really think about things like that. I know, because it's not a natural thing, you know. But I mean, it's just one of these things that, when it does happen, you've got to listen. You've got to put down what you're doing and listen to it.
I think it was games more than out though, wasn't it?
Well, yes, it were when she started with the name.
I can remember my mum, and she used to always wear black or grey, dark colours. And my dad always had a mucky face when he came home. I can remember there being a big railway track, big field behind it, and a river beside it. And if you went across, sort of like a muck road, that's where my friends used to live. Yeah, now I know.
Don't go in there, Nicola. Somebody lives there.
Come on.
She could remember her friends living there. I mean, I actually never knew it were there. Because when you're passing out lane, you don't even see that part. You know, from a distance, you don't see it. It's sort of like hid down behind a wall.
Yeah, this is it, Mum. I'm sure this is it.
You sure?
Yeah. I can remember all along that wall, there were lights, like brackets coming out and up.
Remember what else?
No, that's just about it, just them lights on that wall.
And it would always, she always seemed to have a dog with her. Wherever she went, this dog would always there. Well, that must have been a playmate, you know, like kids have, you know, imaginary friends and that. And she'd had this dog. From being really, really small, even like when she was still sat in a pram, she would never, ever, at our station, there's like an old wooden bridge that goes up to get to the other side. She would never, ever go over there. She used to scream all the way over. And then when she started walking, she would, as soon as she knew that she were going up there, she just stopped in her tracks and she wouldn't move. And my dad used to have to carry her, screaming all the way over.
Come on.
Where are you going? She was just frightened at trains, all steam.
Just...
You're not supposed to be on them tracks.
Come on.
She just wouldn't go near them at all.
Come on, Kim. Where were it? See where them white signal posts are?
Yeah.
Well, just a bit down from there, that's where I can remember a man swinging a lamp and I can remember a train.
Is that all? What happened then?
I can't remember.
मेरे घर वालों ने ये फैसला किया कि मैं आगरे जाकर पता करूं कि जो मेरा छोटा भाई टीटू बोलता है वो सच है कि नहीं। सुरेश रेडियो की दुकान मुझे वहाँ मिल गई और वो वाकई एक विधवा उमा की थी जिसके पति का कुछ साल पहले खून हो गया था और उसके 2 लड़के भी थे जैसे टीटू बताता था।
ये अजीब सा तो लगा ही मेरे को। फिर मैंने कहा लगा के चलो देखें बातें क्या हुई, कैसे हुई, क्या करना है, चलना है, सोचते रहे। फिर घर गई मैं शाम को। मैंने फिर पेरेंट्स लोगों से कहा कि ऐसे ऐसे बात है। वो लोग बोले कि चलो सुबह ही चलते हैं। सुबह 7 बजे गई वहाँ।
बाबूजी नहा रहे नल पे। और टीटू बोले कि पापा जी मेरे तो घरवाली आई, तुम अभी नहा ही रही हो नल पे।
उमा उमा आई, पापा जी आए, माता जी आई, सब आए।
तो ये हम द्वार पे बैठा दे सगरी। और टीटू बड़ा हिलो मिलो, जट बहुते बोले कि मम्मी जी खाट पे बैठी है यहाँ, और लाला जाते दो बात करूँगा उमा से। उमा झट नहीं आई गई। और टीटू बोले उमा ते तेने में पहचान लो कि ना पहचानो। तो बोली कि वो पता ना पहचाने के रोनू सोनू कहाँ पढ़ रहे हैं कि घर ही बैठे हैं। अब वो बोली कि मैंने तो धुन में डाल दें, दोनों बच्चे डाल दे धुन में। तो जी बोले अच्छा कि मैं पहचान कर अच्छी तरिया कि मुँह पर ना पहचान नहीं कि हम धौलपुर दीदी के यहाँ गए कि माँ दोनों रोनू सोनू को लेके साथ मेला करने के लिए। तो तुमने कहा कि तुम जलेबी खवाई हैं तो अब वो चाहे चुप है।
जी मेरा फोटो है सुरेश का पहले जन्म का, यहाँ जे आपको है तो कुछ का उड़ी गई जगह।
यही है साहब, उसे अपनी याद है। ले
क्या भाई मम्मी को है और जी उमा को है।
मैं गंदी मैं धोती पैर के बाद साड़ी है यहाँ तक गई तुम तो मम्मी मेरी उमा तो 2,000 की साड़ी पहनती है, तुम गंदी धोती से बाहर मत जाओ करो। हम भगवान ज्यादा हैं, तुम मम्मी गरीब हो, हमें ना अच्छा लगा तू कबो के तो कातन को मकानों में हो मैं यहाँ दिल ना लगा तू हट जाए मार दिन तक ये वाला तो जो कि तुम तो आगे जाओ मैं ना भैया तू आगे जाओ बता हम जान न पहचान कहाँ जाओ आगे के ना मैं ना तो आई झट झोला अपने छोटे छोटे कपड़ा भरे और झट चल रहे तुझी।
Main street of Haworth.
We wanted to sort of find some records of this little boy existing. So we went to Haworth Parish Church because that area that Nicola could remember living would probably come under the Haworth boundary.
What was the name?
Benson.
What sort of date?
I'd say about 1850 onwards.
Baptism?
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a see. This is one that you can look in. See what was it you're wanting it for? What?
It's just we're just trying to trace the family of Bensons that lived before. Right, we're gonna have to try and find just this. That's the same. So we just sort of started off there. We just like potluck really. We didn't know what to find, whether we'd find anything.
You go down that one.
Not very good. We didn't even know. We didn't even have an idea what year we were looking for. We just sort of started off at 1850s, and sort of went from there. Spins, yeah. Benson, you just have to watch it because it probably won't be able to see it right good.
There's a Bailey.
It's Ferdinand, that one. And Charlotte what Benson?
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember your first name.
No. Oh, that's Benson.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Can't you remember your first name?
John Henry.
We were quite surprised when we did find a Benson. You know, because we weren't expecting to find anything at all.
1875, 26th of June.
But there was just one Benson in the book, and it just happened to be John Henry Benson. Yeah, that's just where they lived, Harcliffe. That says plate layer, that must have been his job. What's a plate layer?
I don't know. I seen a man swinging a lamp, and then I saw a train, and then I can't remember anything after that.
God, this graveyard is massive, Nicola. I didn't realise it was this big.
Never going to find it, there's loads.
We wanted to see if there was a grave, see if we could find if he had sort of been buried in our parish church because he was in, you know, baptised in that sort of register. So we went round the graveyard, which was quite big. You know, we just couldn't find a Benson grave at all. There were no Bensons in.
That one, isn't it?
No, no, no. Somebody suggested go to the library, ask them for a list of monumental inscriptions for old graveyards that are, you know, are no longer used. So we went to the library and Ian Dewhurst gave us this list of monumental inscriptions. No.
There. John Henry Benson or John Henry Fletcher, because it doesn't say either, it just says grandson of Henry and Mary Fletcher. John Henry.
Grandson of Henry and Mary Fletcher. 1870. It's 2 years and 11 months. We found John Henry's grave, but we found that he was buried with his grandparents, Henry and Mary Fletcher. So we wanted to find out if it was the same John Henry Benson that was actually in this grave.
But if he were a Benson, then he should have been in the Benson grave.
To do this, we had to find out if his mother's maiden name had been Fletcher.
You feel weird? I don't. It's weird. Quite weird.
When we found John Henry's grave, I didn't feel funny or anything. I didn't feel weird because it wasn't me that were in there.
We went back to the library because we knew that John Henry had been born in 1875 and we wanted to find out more about his parents.
How are you getting on?
Not right well.
Can't find
I'm not
anywhere.
sure how to use it, actually.
No, well, this is giving you the names of the streets, but of course not the names of the people. Do you know where they were living?
I think it might be Haworth area.
Ah, well, you see, you're still in Bingley and Morton, so we can take this on. Sunderland, Riley, Lund.
So we looked on the 1871 census to see if his mother had in fact been a Fletcher.
You can spend... now then, look. Henry Fletcher here, we're on wife Mary, daughter Susie.
Yeah.
Susie, daughter there, aged 20.
So that'd be his mother.
So they're living on Brook Row. It doesn't give the numbers of the
Where's
houses.
Brook Row?
It's down by the railway. Well, down by the railway line, Worth Valley Railway. Let's just keep looking to see who else there is on this part of the census. Brook Row. Let's just run along Brook Row again, going the other way. Ah, well, there's your Benson, look, Thomas Benson.
So that means that both his parents must have lived on Brook Row before they got married.
Thomas Benson, father and son. So in other words, both the Fletchers and the Bensons are neighbours on Brook Row then in 1871.
The life that Nicola has now is a lot similar to the one that she would have as John Henry, because he was born before his parents were married, and then he went to live with grandparents, which is what happened with Nicola. She was born before I got married. Then I married a father and he died, and we came back to live with my mum, so she was with grandparents again.
We've got two old maps here. This is the 6-inch Ordnance Survey of 1850, and this is the 1908 25-inch to the mile of the Haworth to Oakworth section. Now,
which one would be better?
Well, I think this one tells you each individual house. Do you know where Brook Row is, though?
No.
Oh, well, let's have a see. I think there's something here that should tell us. It's the street directory. Brook Row, Mytholm's Lane. It's a part of Mytholm's Lane, you see, which is coming down from Haworth.
That's when it all started falling into place. All the things that she said were all coming to light. So it's somewhere along that road?
So somewhere along this area is Brook Row, yes.
Right. Well, I know where Mytholm's Lane is. And there's a row of houses at the bottom. And when Nicola, even before she started talking about all this, saying she lived before, we once going past in car, and she said, "Oh, that's where I used to live." And I said, "Oh, yeah, Nicola, you know, like you do," just sort of taking it in conversation. But she'd actually said that she lived there, but we didn't think out about it because she hadn't even started saying that she lived before then. Mytholm's Lane, it's quite a steep hill. When you get to the bottom, there's a row of terrace cottages, which is known as Brook Row. across from these cottages there's like a river, but you don't actually see the river, you don't know it's there, you know, until you sort of get quite close to it. And at back, directly at the back of these houses, there's an old railway track.
आजा भाई टीटू, इधर आजा।
इधर आ जा।
इधर आ भाई। करो नमस्ते।
कहाँ मम्मी कहाँ?
बता दे। नमस्ते कर दे सबसे। हैं? घर है ना? बता दे इनको, बता दे, बैठ जा। बैठ के
सोनू को बता दो।
सोनू को बता दो। वहाँ बैठ के बताओ या? बता दे। बता दे। आजा, इधर आजा। इधर
किसका फोटो है?
मेरा।
किसका है फोटो?
फोटो है।
नाम क्या है? कब खिंचवाया था ये? कब खिंचवाया था?
मेरा काट था, मैंने तो पहले खिंचवाया। अच्छा,
काय के लिए?
ये सोचा कि 80% अपना बच्चा है ये, और 20% जरा शक था मुझे उसके ऊपर। जब भी मेरी तबीयत 2-4 बार मेरे घर पर भी मेरे पास आया वो, और चिपट गया मुझसे, और मुझे छोड़कर नहीं जाता कहीं पर ही। वो बड़ी मुश्किल से मैं अपना उसके पीछे छुड़ाता हूँ। एक बार फिर वो आया, गली में जा रहे थे, हमारी पुरानी नौकरानी मिल गई माया। तो माया ने तो समझा ये बच्चा यही है, सोनू है या टोनू है। उन्हें क्या सोनू से ही उसे बिगड़ गया उससे। वो तो मुझे पहचानती नहीं है, मैं कौन हूँ कहीं।
इनको देख भी तो लो।
तो हमारी ये जिज्ञासा हुई कि इसके बालक जब ये कहता रहता था कि कौन से हैं, तो हमने कहा देख तो लिया जाए कि कौन से हैं। हम लोगों ने तो कभी देखा नहीं था। तो हमने इनके घर पहुंचने के बाद उन्हें सूचना दी कि आप अपने बालक, पड़ोसियों के बालक और इनके सभी बालकों को एक झुंड में बैठा दीजिए। जब हमने कहा कि आप ये बताइए कि रोनी सोनी कौन से हैं जिनके लिए आप रोज़ कहते रहते हो, तो ये हमारी गोदी से उठा और दोनों रोनी सोनी दोनों बालकों को पकड़ लाया।
ये तुमसे बड़े कैसे हो गए? तुम तो छोटे हो।
मैं तो काम जिंदे पहले बड़ा हो।
कैसे?
पहले बड़ा हो।
पहले बड़े थे?
तो क्या हुआ?
छोटे कैसे हो गए?
मैं?
हाँ।
जन्म लाए हो।
कहाँ लिया जन्म?
बाद में।
तो छोटे हो गए, अब बड़े कैसे होना है?
बड़ा तो ठीक है, ताकि
बाप बेटे के संबंध है, आता है हमसे प्रेम करता, हम उससे प्रेम करते हैं अच्छी प्रकार से, खिलाते पिलाते नहीं उसे ज्यादा, इसलिए और नहीं कि वो उन्हें परेशान घर वालों को बहुत ज्यादा करता है, हमें करता है, उन्हें ज्यादा परेशान करता है वो।
करवाए खुदाई होगी? खुदाई करा?
मैं कहा मैं तुम्हारे घर गया कहा
कितना? हाँ।
तब तो खुद ही होने लगा।
अच्छा, अब कब खुदवाए? अब कब खुदवाए?
अब खुदवा नहीं।
कब? कब?
कल चाहे खुदवा ली हूँ, तो लेकर आ गया। आ रहा हूँ मतलब ले लेंगे।
अच्छा।
आ रहा तू ले ली।
ठीक है।
गड्ढा में ऐसे नहीं जो गड्ढा खोद रहा वहाँ भी रखा।
गड्ढे में रखा हुआ है वो?
नहीं, सांझ भाई कोठी में।
तो फिर चला जाने? जाने चला? गाँव चलना चला?
घर में कौन रहे हो?
कोई नहीं।
कोई नहीं रहे हो।
और आज भी हम लोग ये पाते हैं कि उसे हमारे घर से कोई प्यार नहीं है। माँ को माँ नहीं समझता है, पापा को पापा नहीं समझता है, भाइयों को भाई नहीं समझता है, और हमेशा इसी रट में लगा रहता है कि मैं आपके यहाँ तो दिन काट रहा हूँ।
तो पूरा दूसरा है, मैं तो बैठे रहते ये सब ऐसे लगते
और
अल्लाह दवा दे लेना
ऊपर से नीचे से
और वेला पे जे तो पहले
कौन है, मेरे को ये लगता है कि हस्बैंड ने जन्म लिया है, मगर मानते भी हैं, मगर जाते भी हैं, सोचते भी हैं। उससे ज़्यादा फिर कोई मकसद ही नहीं रहता है, काफ़ी दूर का फासला है, तो इसलिए मतलब सोचा है कि है तो जन्म तो हो ही गया है, बस वो मिलते रहेंगे, जाते जाते रहेंगे। और
I think she was about 3 because she hadn't started school. She wasn't watching telly at all until she saw this scene, and it was just some long track, you know, and this fellow was going to throw himself off. And as soon as she saw it, she just
a really panicky.
Just
she did like effort
right
to get her breath. I think it would like you would if you were, something dreadful.
It was like an
going
asthma
to
attack.
happen,
You know, like somebody having an asthma attack, and they're trying to get the breath, and they're sort of fighting for the breath, and they just can't get it back. She was like that, but as soon as we turned telly off, she just gradually sort of calmed down and got her breath back, and she was okay. John Henry must have had a very unpleasant death at his room in Brook Row. And at the age of 3, which is the age John Henry died, Nicola had a similar attack. And it was quite unnerving, you know, just to see her in this attack, because we didn't actually know what it was. I feel right frustrated in a way because we can't go back in time to see what John Henry's lifestyle would have been like. Just to sort of see, you know, if he had a happy childhood or not for a bit of time that he were here.
हम तो सर हैरान हैं इसलिए कि ये अपने को नहीं बदला, और जब मान लो बड़ा हो गया तो उसके बाद में हम लोगों से संबंध ही बिल्कुल खत्म कर देगा। बहुत बड़ा ममता आती है ना कि अपना बालक होते हुए ये सारी कहानी, जबकि हम वैज्ञानिक युग के होते हुए इस बात को बिल्कुल नहीं मानते, लेकिन आज प्रत्यक्ष रूप में देख रहे हैं। स्वामी जी बाहर आइए आप। नमस्ते जी। ये मेरे घर एक ऐसा बालक आया है, कभी कहता है मेरे गोली मारी, कभी कहता है मेरे माता पिता तुम नहीं हो, कभी कहता है मुझे हॉस्पिटल ले जाने के बाद में शमशान भूमि ले गए, शमशान भूमि में आग लगा दी, आग लगाने के बाद में लोगों ने पानी डाल दिया और पानी डाल के मुझे यमुना में फेंक दिया। तो हमें ऐसा प्रतीत होता है कि पुनर्जन्म की या कोई विशेष बातें हैं, हमें समझा सकोगे आप?
ऐसा है, जन्म होने के बाद में बाल्यावस्था, युवावस्था, प्रौढ़ावस्था जो ये बनी रहती है, इसी तरीके से हमारे देहांतर जन्म जन्मांतर चलते हैं और ये अखंड रूप से चलता रहेगा। जिन व्यक्तियों की आकस्मिक मृत्यु हो जाती है उन व्यक्तियों को अखंड रूप से सत्ता का ज्ञान पूर्व जन्म का बना रहता है।
ये सारी बातें इसे कब तक याद बनी रहेंगी?
ये निरंतर बना रहेगा, इसका
नहीं भूल पाएगा तो हमारे लिए तो बड़ी दिक्कत खड़ी होगी।
नहीं, ऐसा है, आहिस्ता आहिस्ता आपका प्रेम प्यार और आपका लालन पालन सामाजिक प्रभाव जब इस पर पड़ेगा तो उसका जरूर असर पड़ सकता है कम और बेश के अंदर, मगर सत्ता का ज्ञान निरंतर बना रहेगा।
टीटू बलबीर ने गोली मारी, तुम क्या कर रहे थे? बता बता जल्दी बता। तू कहाँ जा रहा है? इधर हुआ जा।
गए तो खोल दे भाई किसान उठो में आता गए ऐसा कोने खाली मारे गए
तो वहाँ कोठी के पास ही पहुँचे थे, 2-3 हॉर्न दिए थे, उसमें हम निकल के आए और भी आदमी थे, बल्कि वो निकल के आए। जब तक मतलब काफ़ी जोर से आवाज़ आई थी और उस आवाज़ में सबने कहा कि सुरेश की गाड़ी की स्टेपनी ख़राब हो गई है, मगर जब गोलियों की आवाज़ थी, बाहर निकल के देखा तो मैंने कहा अंदर आइए, तो आए नहीं। मैंने वो सोचा कि इस कंडीशन में कभी आते भी नहीं है। मैं गाड़ी के पास गई और मैंने ऐसा लगा तो हाथ पकड़ के, तो मेरी सीधी चीख निकल गई, किसी ने गोली मारी है।
सुरेश वर्मा की ऑटोप्सी रिपोर्ट से पता चलता है कि गोली सिर के दाएं तरफ पे लगी। रिपोर्ट से यह भी पता चला कि जख्म कितना गहरा था और उसका कान से कितना फासला था। हैरानगी की बात है कि टीटू के सिर पे एक जन्म निशान है, जो रिपोर्ट के मुताबिक उसी जगह पे है जहां पर सुरेश को गोली लगी।
I think everybody wants to think that you've lived before, or that there is something after you die. I mean, I didn't even really think about it that much, but with Nicola, I do.